Product not yet rated.
Hey man, I've been gone the last few days. I see you're kind of giving away some of your good stuff, you know?
Yeah, there's a few things here I don't need, really.
I kind of had my eye on that nice Nina Williams in Death by Degrees sculpture. It's, you know, cold cast, collector's item. I know Milky, he's had his eye on that. He's a big fan.
If you were a real fan, first of all, you would know this is not from Death by Degrees.
What?
This is from Tekken 3, and no, you can't have it.
Alright, how about...
Here, how about this is like I think it might be from Dark Watch. You could find his arm.
Yeah, how about this one? How about this awesome Dracula monster? Because he's from Van Helsing. I know.
Yeah, actually, I was kind of going to put him up on my lights in my new place. But
what about your framed Paula Deen ham?
Seaman 2 towel.
I guess. Can I have Paula Deen too?
Yeah. Go take Paula Deen. How about and then
I actually have a full set of 4 GBA connectivity cables.
Remember, it's coming back. Connectivity is coming back. How about Capcom Juicy Sauce?
What?
Just take it. It's yours. It's fine. I don't need it.
Thanks, I guess.
Mario Hoops backboard?
Nah, it's alright. How about those chick tracks? I'll take those.
No.
No?
No, you can't have those either.
Alright, well, thanks, I guess.
Yeah. I wouldn't eat that
sauce.
Juicy stuff. Yeah.
I was gonna put on the ham. No. See you around, Mark.
Mark Rain came by, strange event. He came by and he had copies of the PlayStation 3 version of Unreal Tournament. This may be the first time that I can remember where someone came by with a PS3 version of anything before I'd played the other console's version of it. And it ran fine, you know, like it looked like a multiplayer online shooter.
Epic is doing it like right alongside the PC version, so all the other versions of Unreal Tournament we've gotten before have either been really shitty console versions that are like melee centric that don't make any sense in the Unreal Tournament gameplay sense, or were ported out and just sucked. And this one, it's it's not 60 frames per second. It's not optimal. It's not the PC version, but it's good.
It looked beautiful. It was really fast. The weapons. I mean, I'm not like you guys. I'm not a huge ET fan, but I thought it was really fun. I thought it was more pick up and play than a Halo.
It has that same depth, UT has always had, where, it's got a shit ton of maps, got a shit ton of weapons, got a shit ton of, like, vehicles in a lot of the modes.
Incoming. System failure.
And then it's also got incredible AI for the bots.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I just like the fact that I can throw bots in there to fill up the map. I thought that was a huge thing. I mean, I know it's been there before, but still, it was like a nice little reminder that...
It's nice to have it on console.
Yeah. There's always those days when you get online and just people are total assholes. And you're like, you know what? I just want to play the game to enjoy it. It looks good, it plays well, but I don't want to deal with, like, little Jimmy.
Unreal Tournament 1 was great. 2003 was a fumble. 2004 is where the series came back.
2004 was really the Unreal Tournament game for me as a Quake fan, where the weapons really started to feel meaty and I actually enjoyed the combat a lot.
And this is a refinement of 2004, and it's great. It's got, maybe it has a little too much.
They brought back a couple of the things that I really missed, like dual-wielding enforcers, and they brought back the sniper rifle. They got rid of the lightning gun. I was never a fan of the lightning gun.
Most of the weapons I find in the game are actually pretty powerful. Like the enforcers, you can actually like take someone down. Like it's hard to, its aiming is important. Yeah, the enforcer is a fine weapon, and I think that, like link gun, using it in its like linked mode is pretty weak, but the normal primary fire on it is really, really strong. Rockets are strong, of course. Sniper rifle is strong. Like everything feels like pretty meaty and powerful. I'm not sure like the weapons quite as much as their counterparts in 2004 just yet, because I haven't played enough to, especially because some of the new like items and power-ups they put in the game. Like I was getting like jump boots, where on your double jump, it'll like just boost you like 30 feet.
Like an entire build, and you get all these shield power-ups and really beef up your character where you're just like a walking tank, and then you can get in a tank, and like, there's just so much you can do with the game.
And the hoverboards are actually like
fun.
They weren't. The only thing that I found annoying was, and I understand why this is, but you're on your hoverboard, you get shot, you fall down, and then you're stuck in that animation, like, and you can't fire back.
It's a penalty.
I like shot when you're on your hoverboard, but man. During Unreal, like, I'm just not used to something that's going to slow me down and I'm not going to be able to shoot back. Like, oh, shit.
The funny thing is my favorite new feature is those, like, jello fields that they put up, like, in front of places. It looks like a... I don't know, to me it looks like
a Jello mold.
It looks like
a Jello mold.
And when your character moves into it, anything that's in it moves slower. And the funny thing is, when I was playing last night, I thought it was so fucking genius. I'm like, this is so smart to like have a slowdown field instead of like a Max Payne slowdown effect. I wish I could shoot these and move them around myself. And then I was reading a GFW cover story about Borderlands this morning, and they have the exact same thing, and you can shoot it. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, it's really fun.
For people who own a PS3, there's not a whole lot else out there like this. This is great for them. I'm excited for them, But I would not personally go buy a PS3 for this. I would go buy a PC for this. Even though it's nice, the PS3 version looks gorgeous. If you have like a lower end PC, it's gonna look the same.
I think if you have a low end PC, I think you should get it on PS3, especially since they're gonna allow the mods and all that stuff. Keyboard and mouse support was in there. I tried to play last night, but I think our server was set to not allow keyboard and mouse play. But I couldn't.
It's there.
It's there. I plugged it in. I configured my keys. You guys are all saying that, like, you think that, oh, it's obviously going to do well on the PC this year, and I wonder how it'll do on PS3. And I think it's the opposite. There's a new Medal of Honor that just came out. Team Fortress just came out. Crysis is coming out. UT is coming out.
Quake Wars
just came out. It's a really crowded genre or subgenre on the PC.
And how do you pick and choose which one you want? And I think that's what's cool with the PS3 version. It kind of gives you There's nothing like this on a console. And it's deliberately made to be an arcade-style shooter where you just run in, you fucking die, and who gives a shit? You hit respawn, there's not a countdown timer. You don't have to wait 15 seconds because you fucked up with your needler. You just jump back in, and it's not a slide against Halo, it's a different type of shooter. It's an arcade game. It's you popped it into the quarter, you jump in, you get a damage multiplier, and you've gotten 6 kills, and suddenly you're number 1. Like, that doesn't happen in any other shooter. And that's what I like about the game, is that even when you suck, and I'm not, like, I just don't have the patience. Yeah, I don't have the patience or time to put into these shooters that I would like to. So it's cool to jump into a game like this where I can be just okay, or maybe on a team that's good, and still do really well and feel like I'm contributing.
I'm just so impressed that we saw a game on PS3 first, and like that's a multiplayer game, and it looks good.
It's got shit together.
There are no dumb frame rate problems to report on. You know, it's fine. It's good.
So the game that everyone was all excited about because it was the first time it was playable was Super Smash, and they were only showing, I was kind of sad that they were only showing the multiplayer mode, just because the part of the game that I'm actually really excited about is the adventure mode. But, you know, what gets me excited about Smash Brothers is just, as being a Nintendo fan, all the Nintendo fan service in it. And that, even in the multiplayer modes, was on, like, full display.
And, oh, there's an assist trophy, hang on. That's the Advance Wars.
It's a Nintendo orgasm all over your face. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, the game is just like total fan service between like the little Advance Wars guys that come out for power-ups, like, you know, Punch Out Dude come out and punch people up. From that, to like Sonic now being added, to like promise of more characters, Snake. I mean, just, the game is the ultimate fan service for anybody.
There's that Super Smash Ball or whatever it's called now that appears on the screen at certain times.
It's not just like you walk up and grab it, you have to actually like punch it open. So like everybody's sitting there trying to punch it open, and then all of a sudden,
if you do your special attack, you like unleash hell. Like it showed Samus basically like blast away the entire screen. Sonic turns into Super Sonic, flies around, knocks other people out.
Just about there, unleash it, you can actually steal it from them. So it's just like that kind of back and forth, that almost like mini game within the game.
It's kind of like the Donkey Kong hammer from the old game. It's like it was so powerful that when it appeared, or the invincibility star, that you just wanted to get it. You can use it like against like all the enemies, or there's some characters that just have it where they could do a lot of damage to just one character, and you can avoid these super attacks.
I mean, it's still like 4 people fighting and beating the crap out of each other. Just adds another element to the game, I thought, which is definitely needed to change it up, like just a tinge.
When I went in, I was most excited to see Smash Brothers, and it ended up being more excited about Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is like a totally new experience, like nothing like we've ever seen before. It's not really like Mario Sunshine or Mario 64, but like Smash Brothers, I think, is still pretty much a known quantity now. It was like when I played, I'm like, this is pretty much like the old games.
I felt like Mario Galaxy was like Sunshine. In fact, it reminded me of those kind of abstract levels in Sunshine. Like the controls are still basically the same. The game looks a little better. The one thing that's really different about it is that it's playing with gravity constantly, it seems like, and it's not as restricted. Like in Sunshine, almost all the worlds were based around, you know, they had to be like the same locale. But now that it's like different planets, it's totally free to do, like, let its freak flag fly and just like whatever the hell you can think of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like totally different. You're saying
the
it's like
controls are all still. It immediately felt like a Mario game.
It's a totally different game. You don't.
No, it's not. It's just the gravity. It's still Mario.
No, that's a huge thing. Gravity. If I change gravity right now, your world would be completely rocked. You'd be completely fucked up. So it's a very different. It doesn't feel like anything like any of the old games, just because it controls similarly. But the level designs are so radical, and each planet's so different, and they're like little bite-sized levels.
You have one that also kind of reminded me of the abstract levels that's basically like a box, where you walk around the box and you flip over and gravity is keeping you on the box, but you have to hit all of these different switches.
Pads.
Yeah, exactly. You have to step on them in order and turn them, I think, from question marks into exclamation points. And you have to jump on moving platforms to do it, and you're dodging like these rings that are going out. And it's really cool because you just intuitively, quickly, immediately understand, oh, this is what I have to do. It was really fun, and like the different gravity did totally add something to it. Where you'll see something in the background, and you won't know immediately like how to get there. but you know you can get there. So it's also got that like exploration element to it, that like you know, unlocking the secrets aspect to it that the previous Mario games have had.
I think one thing I was worried with being so many different planets and jumping and hopping and bopping each place, I would get like lost. I wouldn't know really where the end goal was. But the game is so well designed that you'll never get like off the beaten path so much where you won't know where the final star is or something like that, which I thought was really awesome.
We saw one of the bosses, it's like Koopa Jr. again, but it was like, Jeremy was joking, it's like it's like Juan and the Colossus, basically, because the boss is this big robot, it's bigger than the planet, and Mario basically has to climb up its leg, go through all these gears, and then you're guiding these bullet bills to smash a sensor that it's its weak point. But like, yeah, it had this huge sense of scale, and I think one of the best looking, if not like the best looking Wii game so far.
Personally, for me, I think it's the best looking Wii game out there.
For this game where you're walking around in 360 degrees, upside down, and in all different angles, you think it might kind of throw you off. And, you know, like even like, not like with a lot of 3D games now that they have camera problems, and I didn't really experience that. No matter how you're oriented, you always knew how to control your guy perfectly, and it just reminded me of like why like Nintendo games, but specifically Mario games, just control so perfectly all the time.
Totally agree.
I think there were two surprises for me at the event. The first one was not a surprise game, but it was a surprise how much I enjoyed it, was Link's crossbow training. Like, I was really into Link's crossbow training.
Serious?
I'm totally serious.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. For free with the game, for the Zapper, I don't think it's that bad.
You know, you get the Zapper thing, which I'm actually, like, the jury is still out. My own private jury is still out on the Zapper thing, because it takes a while to get used to, and I pick it up and I'm like this, I'm like, do I like it like this or do I like it like this? I'm still not used to it because I'm used to using my right trigger as the trigger finger. But the game itself, yeah, it reuses all these like Twilight Princess environments, but you know, it's very much like a point blank game in the Zelda universe. It's like shooting targets, doing combos, super simple, that kind of stuff, but just fun. Like, it just felt great. Getting combos was very addictive. I already kind of wanted to go back. The stages branch off. They do different things. You could like unlock secrets and that kind of stuff. And then the third person parts, yeah, you're shaking your head already. Did you play it?
Yeah, well, no, I'm just like guessing. Yeah, I played it. When you try to use the Wiimote as a light gun, you know, even with the Zapper, it's not precise. It's just kind of, it's a little shaky, and you're just kind of feeling it out. You're just like pointing a cursor on the screen. You don't have that precision and that kind of reaction. You're just kind of like aiming this little shaky cursor, and you're just shooting targets and monsters and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're like, you know, if you like competitive grade light gun game, like this is not gonna be it. But like it's like fucking, it's more Zelda too, you know. It's like a Zelda fan service.
That's
just
it.
Placing
That's what I'm trying to get at. That's why you like it.
No,
that's Zelda.
That's absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. It's not just that it's Zelda. Like, it being Zelda adds something to it. Like when you're in the desert and it's Stalfos, like, I think that's cool. But it's definitely not just that. I was ready to dismiss it completely. Like, oh god, they had like whatever game and they had Duck Hunt and put like Zelda window dressing on it. But they didn't. It's actually really good. It's worthwhile.
The bottom line, it's alright.
The other surprise that you can't question me on because you didn't play it is Master of Illusion.
So essentially, it's going to show you how to make each of these poses, and you have to, you know, really concentrate and make the particular pose that you are feeling like making right at that moment. And when you do so, if your power is strong enough, then it's going to throw it at the DS, and the DS will know which pose you're making.
All right. It's a DS game. It comes with a pack of cards, and there's all these little cool tricks you can do with it. I mean, there's a lot of them are just like based around card tricks, where you get somebody to pick a card, and then you tell the DS in secret ways of what card they have, and then it's like, oh yeah, the DS knew what card you have, and you really won't know unless you've watched the tutorials how the trick is being done on most of them.
There's no game to it. It's just kind of teaching these 20 different tricks or so.
Right. Yeah. It's not so much of a game. It's like this new category of whatever, you know. It's like a game like that.
It's not teaching you tricks, right?
It is teaching you tricks, I think.
It teaches you tricks, but most of them you would need to have the DS in order to perform them. Not all of them, but most of them.
Isn't it more for you to show off off and to pick up on women and stuff.
Some of them are like that, yeah. There's one that's like a love tester where you both put your finger down and, you know, it makes a big show of it and has a heart gauge go up and down. But secretly, you're hitting the L trigger to tell it, you know, how much you want it to say you two are compatible. It's a really cool thing that's not actually like strictly in a game.
I think it just shows the diversity of the DS, of what all those different things that have. I mean, it's an amazing portable system. It's just another example of a really cool product. I mean, because you got into it right after, I mean, playing around with the different tricks, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. Like each trick, and I'm not like you know, a big Magic fan or anything like that, but it was cool to see the DS used in this novel new way. I mean, it basically uses the touchscreen, and where you hit on a box, you're kind of secretly telling the DS, okay, this is the card, or this is what they chose, or stuff like that. It's very much a thing that's going to appeal to, I mean, gamers who want to like use their DS to impress like non-gamers, or non-gamers that are just like, that happen to have a DS for Nintendogs or something like that. So, and then there was a new Advance Wars there, Days of Ruin, where they actually said that the first one didn't sell as well as they expected, and they kind of like table swiped the series. Like, it's all new character designs. The last DS one, yeah.
Like the character designs, the graphics are all a little bit grittier, a little bit more adult. I'm glad to see them lose Jake, the headphone punk kid from the last, you know, there's this kid, this hip street talking, I'm gonna own you kid, who's like commanding armies, and he's like an army general, whatever. It's ridiculous. So they seem to have lost a lot of that silliness. Every Advance Wars has introduced new units, but it's usually just something more powerful, right? Like they introduced the Neo tank, which is just a more powerful tank, and then the Mega tank, which is another more powerful tank. But in this game, I saw two new units so far that actually changes a strategy. One is like a flare tank that actually fires a flare into the darkness, so it clears up the fog of war. Yeah. Awesome. And then there's a motorcycle unit too, which is just basically infantry on a motorcycle. This guy could just zip right to faraway bases and camps to capture them. It's supposed to include full online play with voice chat as well. So it kind of feels like not only are they growing it up from a design and aesthetic standpoint, but also from a gameplay and strategy standpoint. Like they want to make it more, it's like, okay, we know this game's about strategy, and let's make it more for the strategy fans.
Overall, compared to Nintendo's summer event that we were at up in Seattle, like, what, 3 or 4 months ago, we came out of that kind of depressed.
Oh yeah, it was Metroid and
Metroid.
Well, they didn't even show you guys. Yeah.
But coming out of this, it was like, hey, okay, like there are games to be excited about. You know, there was actually like plenty of games for gamers. I mean, we didn't even talk about, you know, Fire Emblem or Battalion Wars 2. Like it made you remember, like, okay, yeah, there are games here.
I was really sold on Mario before, but now I'm like completely sold. I mean, I think that is, you know, I can finally have reason to hook up my Wii again, which has been in the closet for about 6 months. So
dust it off, and me, I got Link's crossbow training to start practicing for. So. All right, just like 1 or 2 things more. Take that and take this, put that there, and. All right, I think that's it. You can just hold that and then let this guy rest right on your shoulder. Cool, thanks, man. If I have any more stuff for you, I'll let you know.
I mean, actually, all I really wanted was the lobster bib, which is mine. I let you borrow that.
Oh yeah, it's kind of on Ninja Gaiden now, so I'll let you know if I got any more stuff. Hey, Crispin?
Cool. Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick or anything, but I kind of got some shit to do. So if it's cool, you got your stuff, your office is that way. Just, I'll see you in a bit.
All right. Well, can I at least have the lobster bib then?
Ah, for fuck's sake. You know what? No.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right. What?
You know, so this trip was, you know, kind of a big ordeal because we had to fly into Buffalo, then drive all the way up to St. Catharines across the border, and you know, it was late at night. I'm tired, so I'm driving. I'm waiting in line to cross the border, and I finally get to the crossing, and the guy's like, "Why are you in Canada?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm here to see this game." He's like, "Too Human?" I was like, "Yeah." He knew what Too Human was. He knew it was being made in Canada. I was like, "That's kind of weird." And then later that night, I'm in a cab, and like, cab driver's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm here to see a game." He's like, "Too Human?" He's like, "Yeah, that Dennis Dyack." He like knew Dennis Dyack's name. He's like, I hear he's a real outspoken guy. It's like, weird. Like, so, you know, Silicon Knights is kind of a big deal up there.
It is.
And, you know, they become kind of a big deal in the community at large just because Dennis is kind of an outspoken guy. The cabbie was, right?
Yeah.
And everyone at Microsoft and Silicon Knights wants to get me net nanny so I don't post on the boards anymore.
Almost 2 years ago, you and I went up to St. Catharines to see this game.
Right.
And we played what was the same section that we played 2 years later. And to see how far it's come, and to see all the things they promised that seemed like pie-in-the-sky dreams actually be in the game now.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of people have complaints with this game, but everything Silicon Knights has promised is in there exactly as they promised.
But then again, the gameplay itself, people kind of get the wrong idea about this game. It isn't like Devil May Cry.
But I think people don't actually think that, and they're just trying to mislead you by like saying that is the big misconception.
If people think Too Human is an action game with some RPG elements, they're absolutely wrong. It is a complete fusion, a true fusion of RPG and action. And if you look at something like Phantasy Star Online, it's really essentially turn-based combat. You know, or World of Warcraft, it's turn-based combat. And then if you look at God of War, you can power up certain skills, but there's no skill trees, there's no classes, there's no loot gathering, there's no customization of your components, and there's no getting to level 50 and playing the game over again to getting to a higher level. None of that exists. So you've got this really unique fusion that I think really makes Too Human stand out.
To me, this is like the ultimate, you know, outgrowth of like the Diablo and PSO. Like, I'm hacking my way through a dungeon genre. And that is what it is. For the first 20 minutes I was playing this demo, I was just doing simple attacks. Like, you can hold down the one stick and it like auto locks you on the next enemy and starts attacking him, or you can start like jabbing on it to do combos. Or what I wasn't doing was using like the war cries or the ruiners or like some of the more the deeper combos that are totally optional that actually change the gameplay more. Yeah, there's a layer to the gameplay that is there for people who want to explore like more depth. And if you don't want to do that, if you just want to kind of like barrel through the enemies, you can do that too, like Diablo.
It's kind of funny when you listen to the way they describe the combat as relaxing, which I think sums it up pretty well. Like, you know, it's not an aggressive game. You're not going to go in there and get like really pissed off at each enemy.
When you have a hunting and gathering game that's got deep RPG elements like we're showing today, the really important part of that is that you balance it out right so the players have fun when they go from level 10 to level 20 to level 30 to level 40, and the characters has to change, and the classes play completely, absolutely differently depending on the weapons. And you know, there's lasers, there's plasma cannons, there's pistols, there's just so many different variants and different classes of weapons.
You get so many items. You know, I was getting swords and axes and different guns and rifles and maces and, you know, 20 different types of armor. And like, you know, when you go in and like outfit your character, everything changes. You know, like physically on your character you see him changing, and like your moves change. Like with the different weapons, the actual gameplay does feel different.
There's no actual like changing his face around and that kind of like...
No, Baldur's face is Baldur's face, and we realize a lot of people like to customize it, change their sex and stuff. It doesn't work for Baldur. Baldur's a male. And I guess it could kind of work, but it would be a little different. It'd be certainly a radical interpretation of the mythology. We're already there, so maybe it wouldn't be that big of a jump, but we've really concentrated on, I guess, changes that make sense and are important. So if you get a cybernetic upgrade, or you change your armor, or you change your sword, you change your weapon, you really see that.
The very first time I played through like 20 minutes or so without even realizing that I could switch weapons, and then like right at the end of the demo I switched weapons and it just like felt like a whole different game.
So if you're the champion and you take a sword, your slide distance and your movement speed and your air combat is optimal. So you'll be doing a lot of dashes and you'll be clearing the field a lot more quickly. Whereas with the defender, he's a lot sturdier. It takes a lot more aggro for the party, and he's basically your tank. And he won't get knocked down by missiles and stuff, or other classes will if they get hit by missiles. Getting all that stuff balanced is now the important part, and it's coming fairly well. We're really happy, and that's the stage we're at. We're just balancing and tweaking and getting things, you know, finalized.
You know, obviously we're kind of worried the main story may be a little short, at least for the first game.
Well, they even said, like, when you go back and play levels again with your friends, like in co-op, the setups are different, the enemies you face may be different, so it's not the same experience every time you play these levels. Because the
better not be
well,
when
because
you're
the
playing
fear-
with 4 people.
Well, and much like PSO, there really are only 4 levels here. There's like 4 main worlds, and then there's like the central hub town, which has like shops and places to explore. And then there's those hyperspace, what do they call them? The cyberspace levels, which there's no combat in them per se. It's just puzzle solving.
Yeah, it's puzzles and hunting for like extra stuff.
Well, you know, and Dennis Dyack, he's taken a lot of flack for things he said about moving narrative forward and how he's approaching the story into human. And so we finally got to see how that works in the game, and I gotta say, I was impressed by the way that the flashbacks are integrated into the story. Balder, the main character, he remembers, oh yeah, like he goes back and like sets everything up, and you play through those memories.
Kind of. You
walk through them. Yeah. But like, you know, that's how the storyline is revealed to you, and it's interesting, and it introduces the world while not overwhelming you to like the fantasy mythology.
You have to buy into like, okay, I'm gonna like the story, because if you don't, you're just gonna be pissed off at how kind of much it throws at you, I think.
But yeah, I think it works. I think it's not cheesy. It doesn't seem forced. And the cutscenes, the real-time cutscenes, look really good up close. Like the character models when they zoom in on the heads, I thought looked almost as good as Heavenly Sword, and definitely as good as Mass Effect. Could you tell it like had it changed since we saw it when it was on Unreal Engine versus now when it's on all proprietary
You know,
tech?
I really couldn't. Like, it doesn't look that much different. It's basically what I imagined it would look like when it was done. And, you know, pretty much the same thing, but just lots more of it. And obviously there are things that people still don't like about the game in the new videos. The most obvious being animations. Right. Which really, you know, I think they're fine for my taste, but it's just gonna come down to what you think of it, you know?
Yeah, and I have a feeling that because this game has been delayed as long as it has, that 2 Human 2 is a lot further along than everybody thinks.
It should be, because they were working on it when we were up there 2 years ago.
Dennis even said to me that, like, while we were there filming at the studio, the name for 2 Human 2 was like in plain view while we were playing the game. So maybe if you review the tapes, we can figure out the name of 2 Human 2.
Do you still envision all those games on Xbox 360, like this generation?
Yes, we're gonna try. Yes, we're gonna try, and there certainly will come faster than the first one for sure. 2 Human will really come together in a way once the first one's done, and it's really self-contained as a story. So the theme of the first game is discovery, the theme of the second game is revenge, and the theme of the third game is enlightenment. And we have all those story arcs. We know exactly what's going to happen here, and all the mythologies, how it's all going to fall out. And we think people will really appreciate that. But, you know, we just have to make sure that this first game is perfect so people will want to play the second and third games.
They've confirmed a demo like 100%. He says about 2 months before the game comes out. So,
and I think the demo will be a modified version of what we played.
Right. That's what they were hinting at.
Really, with 2 Human, there's been so much talk about it, and I think it's been so misunderstood that we have to do the demo right.
So is the demo going to be single player, or are you going to go multiplayer or online? I know there was some back and forth on that.
We'll be talking about that later in the future, but I think I can give a hint, I guess. We'd want people to explore the game fully as much as possible.
People have the wrong idea about the game. When they finally get their hands on it, they'll see what it really is. Like, I'm excited about this game. I think it's something I like. It's a genre I like, and it seems, you know, engaging and addictive. And, you know, it's slightly mundane, but in the same way that PSO and Diablo are, and that becomes something way more fun when you're doing it with your friends.
In some ways, we're petrified because we look at the reactions that we're getting and the misconceptions, and we really want people to understand it for what it is. You know, I got to tell you, this press event's probably the most nervous thing we've done in a long, long time. It's been 18 months since we showed the game. That wasn't because we were super confident that everything was going to just work out fine. We had to work really, really hard, do a lot of tough things, and really dig really deep and read the boards and listen to all the criticism and just say we're going to keep going because we believe in what we're doing. And, you know, I think it's paying off. I think it's a good game, and I hope gamers feel the same way.
Product not yet rated.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I need to talk to you about your final episode, your goodbye.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So what we were thinking we'd do is do like a retrospective, and then maybe greatest hits, like a montage of your great moments, those Mark moments, and then go into like some really soft, sensitive music, some slow-mo, and you walking into the sunset. I was thinking about renting a horse, but that might be over the top. But yeah, and having your hair like just perfectly lit, and just your hair is like flowing in slow-mo.
But I'm still gonna be on the show. I mean, we've filmed stuff. We already have stuff done. That's definitely gonna be in the show. So and I'll be around. I mean, it's not really my last episode. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not dead.
I mean, you're leaving the office, and I'm taking your office, and you'll be gone every day.
Well, I don't know about you getting my office, but I mean, it's not necessary. No, we don't need to do anything big because I'll still be on the show, you know. So, I mean, I like the horse idea, but I mean, let's face it, it's Wednesday. That's not gonna happen now.
But this is honestly it's honestly a relief because I wasn't sure how we were gonna do most of it in time.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just so different. I mean, after John and Jane and Che, I mean, John was the worst.
I know.
His whole goodbye thing.
Prima Donna, he scripted that thing out. It's like, you're
like,
leaving.
We don't do a script. He had the blocking and the lighting. He brought in that team.
Yeah, so me, it's like very simple, like, credits.
Just end it.
Yep, that's
Just
it.
be done.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Goodbye. Credits. Roll credits.
Cool. I'm good with that. Just make sure to get this place really, really clean before you leave because you've got like a lot of shit in here and it's really dusty. I'm not cool with that. So.
I don't think you'll need to worry about that. Thanks.
Oh shit! God damn it!